Have you ever heard yourself saying this? I keep on attracting the wrong person. Now, I hear this quite a bit in counseling. People are coming in and they're just frustrated, they're disappointed, they're just upset that they keep on getting involved in relationships with people that are not really the best for them, but they keep doing it again. So you could say it's like a cycle, or they're just kind of repeating, and they just maybe can't understand why, or perhaps they can't understand the psychological patterns that they are in that are kind of creating these situations. So perhaps it's not bad luck as what you may think. In this video, I want to talk about that. Basically, uncovering these patterns, seeing how you can break this cycle. Unconscious attraction based on your childhood upbringing. Now, what I mean by that is we can repeat familiar family relationship dynamics, even if they are unhealthy. So what I mean is, let's say you were raised in a family where there was a lot of violence. Mom and dad were fighting and there was physical violence. Perhaps there was an addiction where somebody was just drinking a lot. And because of their drinking, they were very abusive. Maybe they were abusive towards you. Maybe you had to do things in the family to get love from your parents. So maybe you were suffering, not happy with things, but if you spoke your mind, you were punished. And these kinds of things, you could say chaos, in a way kind of felt normal. You may basically, you could say, unconsciously seek out those similar patterns. So you seek out partners who are also the same. And you're kind of involved in these relationships. They're familiar as what you grew up with, but at the same time, you're thinking, I'm still not getting what I want. I'm still not happy here. So you're kind of trying to heal childhood wounds. So things that you experienced in your childhood, you want them to be better, so you kind of play them out in your adult relationships. But doing that is very tricky and very hard. And you start to see after a while, it's almost impossible to do, because these people you're involved with are not your parents. So you kind of get into that pattern. Okay, something's very familiar. That person's very familiar because it reminds me of my father. I get involved, I'm going to make this relationship right, but at the same time, it's not happening. And that leads to this frustration where, oh my God, another relationship broken. Attachment styles. So that follows up on what I spoke about the upbringing. So you have anxious and avoidant attachment personalities, you could say. So the anxious person grew up in a household where perhaps one day love was given, next day it wasn't. So, and they're kind of in this limbo. What's going to happen tomorrow? Am I going to get the caring that I need? Am I not? And it can be very much difficult to kind of comprehend, because one day you're getting love, one day you're not. And that can create a level of anxiousness. So they're stressed out. Gee, I really want my mom to appreciate me, but they're not. And then you have the avoidant attachment person. So this person really didn't get any love growing up. So they were just kind of, maybe you could say, pushed aside, and they had to learn to be very independent growing up, and in a way not seeking out the care of others because it wasn't there. But deep inside, there is this wanting, correct? This wanting to be cared for. And so that they carry that around with them. So when these two people meet, it's almost like opposites attract, right? So the anxious person is saying, well, okay, this avoidant person, they're kind of a little bit off. You know, they're there, and that kind of reminds me of my father, who didn't give me much love. So there's elements of my father. That sounds very familiar. So I'm going to latch on there. And then if I latch on there, I can maybe get what I want. I can kind of make up for my childhood. Now, the avoidant person is kind of seeing this person come in and they're giving them a lot of attention and love, and that kind of triggers something inside where, well, now I'm getting what I want. Wow. Okay, that's maybe my mother I didn't get any love from. Now, at the same time, are they really getting what they want? So they can kind of start each feeling overwhelmed. The anxious person is seeing, I'm giving all this love, but perhaps this person, avoidant person, is not reciprocating, not kind of give me what I want. Instead, the avoidant person is now pushing the anxious person away because they can't handle it. They can't handle all the attention, and it just feels like, I never got this growing up. I never got all this kind of care and emotion. This is overwhelming for me. I can maybe, be by myself and be independent, and this is too much. And you can see how these two personalities attract, but at the same time repel from each other. So they just can't handle each other. Ignoring red flags. Excusing basically people's bad behavior early on in the relationship, hoping that things will improve. Well, they're having some hard times at work, but you know what? Things will get better. Yeah, they have some hard times in their life, but you know what? That's going to change. And when that changes, they're going to be good to me. So over time, you can start to see that these red flags become more and more intense and that they will not change. So trust your instincts. Self-sabotaging behavior. So basically choosing partners that you feel need to be fixed. Now this can lead to very much one-sided relationships. Oh, okay, they have a drinking problem. I've seen a lot of that in counseling. Somebody chooses somebody who's an alcoholic, and they'll be saying, you know what, they got some drinking problems, but I can fix them. I can fix them. I can force them into counseling. I can do that. And then you kind of, really, can you do that? Are you able to fix them? Are you able to do that? They need to kind of come on their own. You can think that they have a problem, or you can see that they have a problem, but in the end, that person needs to basically come to counseling, deal with things on their own. Despite the care and love you give and the attention, they'll do what they want to do in the end. Attraction to the emotionally unavailable. So choosing a distant partner, they're not really around too much. Maybe they see you every once in a while, but they can never really step up and give you what you need. Now this also can feed into your own kind of fears of intimacy. Perhaps you also are afraid of getting involved. So this person is kind of a safe zone. So they don't want to get too involved. You don't want to get too involved. At the same time, it leads to this cycle of emotional frustration, you could say, on people's parts. And then again, how long does this relationship last? Developing self-awareness, recognizing these patterns that you may be in. So basically, I would say take a history of your relationships. Take a history, an inventory. How was it like with this person? Was there any kind of recurring themes? Things that you saw that maybe I've spoken about already. Were they avoidant? Were they anxious? Was there a distance? Was there some kind of fear? Challenge your beliefs and heal your underlying wounds. So work on your self-esteem, reminding yourself that you are deserving of a healthy relationship. Go to therapy. Talk to a therapist. In these environments, they can be very safe, where you can express yourself to a therapist. You can go back and forth getting some ideas. Basically, the therapist can help you reflect on things back to you that perhaps you're not seeing. Point out things that, well, yeah, this is a pattern. And the light can turn on pretty quickly once you say, yeah, I've been doing that. Journaling, writing things out. I feel that's very important. Basically, you can do that anytime, right? Anytime at the end of the day, maybe a thought comes to your mind. By documenting things down that, wow, this happened, this thought came into my mind, and then reflecting back on that. All this kind of self-reflection can allow you to rewire these negative thoughts, these negative beliefs, because once you start seeing things, I'm going down that road again, right? I'm going down that road of, I'm going to get this person and this is going to happen. Maybe I need to kind of step back a little bit. That sounds very familiar. Set clear boundaries and standards. So just decide what behavior you won't tolerate. Speak up for your needs and understand that you need to walk away from toxic patterns, toxic relationships. Despite all the efforts that you may want to do to fix that person, it's very challenging to do that. So save yourself and I can't handle this anymore, I need to leave. Be patient yet stay firm. So understand that these patterns that you've been involved in, choosing certain kind of people, they've been with you for a long time. So understand that it's going to take a while to adjust to that. Just learn to trust your gut and understand that, maybe I'm starting to feel something here about this relationship. Maybe it's not for you. Attracting the wrong people isn't a life sentence. Patterns can change. In the comments, share some of the experiences that you have had that we can learn from them. Like the video, share the video, subscribe for more videos like this. Remember, the right people are out there, but finding them starts with you. In this video, I spoke about journal writing and how it can help you. Check out my video on journal writing here.